All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Robert Smirking Gun Reviews, and we are finally back again with the penultimate episode of The Haunting of Hill House. It's episode 9. It's called Screaming Meemies. And again, before I went into watching this for the second time, I thought, is this the episode that shows like a downward trend of the, we only got one left. No, again, just a great episode. I honestly, feel like this is a show that needs to be watched at least twice, because the initial reviews, again, I still don't see what anybody is talking about of this, like the high watermark of 5 and 6. No, I just don't. I don't see it. Maybe it's just because I really like it that much. I don't know. But anyway, this is our Olivia episode. This is we get to fill in the gaps episode of all the weird shit that was going on around Olivia throughout the show. We finally get the context, because what we were getting a lot of times was just these weird moments where she was just behaving bizarrely, and now we get to see, what that was all about, what she was going through. And this is Carla Gugino's big standout episode. Now, she's been a standout throughout the entire show, but now we get to see the real torment that was going on with her. And it's just freaking heartbreaking. And that's why I picked this. I was trying to figure out what to put on as my background, like what encapsulates this episode. And I really do think that it's this shot right here and what she says and the conversation that Hugh and her have about, that pretty soon, they're not going to want to be in this position, how she wants to keep them safe, that just keep them in this, this age, and a little, it explains her motivations later on. It explains her motivations after she has deceased and is still, present in that house, and what she plans for the family. We also get more into the ghost of Poppy Hill, which, you don't get coherent, and maybe that's a little stretch of the, realistic, whatever, usual ghost story take, that you don't get to see what drives a ghost, and the background of this person was a person, and she's bananas, her whole idea. But the house was feeding on her too, so it's like you kind of go, were these people I think Poppy was always nuts, but I don't think she was crazy, if you follow me. I think that the house itself has been, feeding on people, and it just made certain people amplified. The things that they were they amplified them. So if Poppy was, already kind of nuts, she was in a sanitarium with her, and where she met her husband or whatever, I think that amplifies the psychosis. Same way as I feel like it amplifies Olivia's abilities, and the kids. And I think that all ties into this house, really wanting that whole family back. It has to get them all. Because the evil, the presence that's in this house, it goes beyond, I think, Poppy and the hills and everything else, now that I've seen it a second time. And Poppy, yeah, she just, the whole thing where she's talking about what she did to her kids, and how she still doesn't realize, I think it killed your kids. But I woke them up. And how she talks about, when Olivia sees the future, where she sees, Nell dead and Luke dead, and it just solidifies in her mind that she's got to keep her kids safe. But the thing is what her version of safe is now is to kill them, to keep them there as little kids safe in the house, so that the outside world can't get them. But she is not understanding that logic. She's being poisoned by this house. And the thinking that as long as they're all in this house together, they can, and even if they're dead, they're still together, that they can never be hurt again. And it's that poisoning of the mind of, just being able to live. Things are going to happen to you when you're outside there, but it just gets on her like it's like a drug. Because even when she, says she's going to leave, and it does feel like she's going to, it's like, it just, we never get to see her go through a struggle after she leaves the house with leaving. We just see her in the hotel. It is already, whatever conflict she was having after she left with herself, it already happened. She is in that hotel with designs to come back. And I kind of like that we didn't see it, because again, a lot of like good shows like Twilight Zone or Alfred Hitchcock movies and stuff, the way that they don't have to show us everything, that we can just fill in the blanks ourselves, is really great. And again, like the more I see Henry Thomas as Hugh, you can see the older version of him, especially in this episode. I think. So when we talk about the casting choice, I think it really fits. I really think that it fits. The little girl who plays, young now, holy crap, can that girl like deliver lines when she's sitting in the bed, and her mom is talking to her about, when they're talking about the dream, like it's none of this is what she's seeing is real. It's the house fucking with her mind. But when the two kids are sitting there talking to her in their bed about, are we safe with you, mommy, and all this stuff, and that whole long diatribe that little Nell tells her mom, like, oh my God, that little actress, man, not only can she nail the lines, but remember all those lines and deliver it in such a freaking earnest way that's like words that would never come out of her mouth but sound natural. It is freaking amazing. And again, like I said, Carla Gugino's descent into madness and being taken over by this house and this Poppy and everything, it's just so all on her face, and so much of it is on her face. It is unbelievable. She says so much without saying anything. You can see the struggle. And so everything else is just bonus. Where you get to see her downfall through the eyes of her children, and how everybody knows there's something wrong. Even like Mrs. Dudley's storyline, where there's they still haven't told her the truth. I mean, I feel like Mrs. Dudley, she's trying to help, but I mean, she needs to just come right out and be like, look, this place is freaking haunted. You guys need to move. Forget the, flipping this house and just everything else. Like, just take your family and go. But then you don't have a story. And just by the end of it, where we see, what happened the night, that last night, where she comes back, and, gets the rat poison, which, that was like, Hugh's gotta like be killing himself for, you gotta figure that the character has been like so guilt-ridden over bringing that rat poison into the house. It almost feels like it was, sometimes I think, was the house trying to get him to bring something into the house, like the poison, like, I don't know. But that whole thing where she's got the kids all together and little Abigail, which, is so creepy, knowing that she's not real. I mean, but the first time you see this episode, you start to go, maybe she is real, and maybe she just did poison Mrs. Dudley's kid. It's all sorts of crazy. But the whole like red room thing and the door being open, we're the key. Just so creepy. And Hugh seeing the ghosts, trying to like stop, like all of a sudden, as they're trying to get out of there, that's when they make their presence known to Hugh. It's all right there in front of him, like, holy shit. It's so scary. I mean, I don't know. And then the whole last bit with Olivia, with Poppy in her head saying, he's taking them, they're going to leave, they're going to get the needle in their arm, and they're going to end up on the silver table, and all this other stuff. This is the traditional like ghost story ending, where the person, that you're rooting for ends up dying. You know, that the house wins. And again, I'm just glad that this isn't the last episode. I'm glad that we have that last episode, and I'm glad that we have the ending that I think that this show really earned. Any other ending, like if they had shot alternate endings, maybe they'll be on the DVD, Blu-ray, or whatever. But I don't care to see any other alternate ending. So anyway, I know I'm not going into super detail about everything here, but I can't say enough good things about Carla Gugino in this, and the performances by everyone just still stand out so much. I love how it ends with the she falls to her death, and that's just such a creepy image of them going to the door and seeing, you know, the family come in for the first time, and all the hope and happiness and bright, you know, that warm glow of the light coming in, and him going up to you know, help the kids find their rooms, and her just kind of taking it all in, and she goes, "You can go on without me," you know, and he goes, "How could we?" And it's a great way of looking at the whole thing, that in her death, she's saying, "You're going to have to go on without me." And, you know, we're not even knowing, like, later on, we're getting foreshadowing way past the moment of foreshadowing. Like, we now see what was said that we never saw of her. I'm glad that they do it like this instead of, because sometimes you don't need foreshadowing. Sometimes I think the best foreshadowing is just kind of showing that moment of how there was hope, but in those words are the way that things are going to pan out for the rest of the show and the series, and the way it's going to end. So anyway, again, I want to apologize for taking so long to get to these. I will be doing the final episode today, so we will be wrapping up Hill House as of today. So again, thanks for everybody's patience on all these. If you did like this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Otherwise, this is Rob at Smirking Gun Review saying we'll see you in a little bit with the finale. And otherwise, you can check out all the other episodes that are on here. We've got the whole series, and we got a 2-part series review in case this is the only episode you've watched so far. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for all the support, and we'll see you in the next video.